The day began like any other November day in Chicago, cold, gray, and busy. People hurried along the sidewalks, bundled in coats and scarves, their breath visible in the frosty air. The city pulsed with its usual energy, seemingly unfazed by the chill. Forecasters warned of a storm, but in a city used to winter, few paid much attention. Weather alerts flashed across screens, but most Chicagoans shrugged them off, confident in their city's resilience. But this was no ordinary snow. The first flakes fell innocently enough, swirling gently through the air, but soon, the storm revealed its true power. Suddenly, thick, wet flakes fell fast, driven sideways by a howling wind. The air turned white, and visibility dropped in minutes. Within an hour, the city's landmarks vanished into a swirling whiteout. Even the tallest skyscrapers seemed to disappear, swallowed by the storm. The beam reflected only a ghostly world. The loop's towers faded from view, their outlines blurred and lost in the blizzard's grip. The familiar sounds of Chicago were muffled, replaced by the relentless whisper of snow. Sirens, horns, and footsteps faded, leaving only the hush of falling flakes. Roads became impassable, cars abandoned and buried. Traffic ground to a halt, and emergency vehicles struggled to move through the drifts. Pedestrians battled the wind, faces stung by ice as the city dissolved around them. Each step forward became a struggle against nature's fury. Darkness fell early, not from sunset, but from the storm stealing the light. Afternoon felt like night, as the sky turned a deep, swirling gray. Streetlights cast an eerie glow that barely pierced the white. Their halos shimmered in the storm, offering little comfort to those outside. From high-rises, residents watched their world disappear. Windows fogged with condensation as people pressed close, searching for familiar shapes in the storm. The city that never sleeps was forced into a deep, frozen slumber. Streets once alive with movement now lay empty and silent, blanketed in white. The blizzard of 25 had arrived, rewriting the rules of daily life. Routines were shattered, and the city's rhythm was lost to the storm. It was a moment of awe and fear. Faces pressed to glass, some marveled at the spectacle, while others worried what the night would bring. Chicago was now at the mercy of the lake, the wind, and the snow. Nature's power was absolute, and the city could only endure. The white curtain had descended, and nothing would be the same. The city's story was being rewritten, one snowflake at a time. This was a classic Great Lakes lake effect snowstorm, but this time, it unfolded on a truly historic scale, the kind that would be remembered for generations. The city was transformed almost overnight, as relentless snow buried streets, cars, and entire neighborhoods. Frigid Arctic air swept over the relatively warm waters of Lake Michigan, soaking up moisture and heat like a giant sponge. This process supercharged the atmosphere, priming it for a dramatic release. As this moisture-laden air hit land, it cooled rapidly, unleashing torrents of snow in a matter of minutes. The result, an incredibly narrow, yet intense band of precipitation. It was like a fire hose of snow, aimed directly at the heart of Chicago, with little warning. The longer the cold air traveled over the open lake, the more moisture it gathered, and the more snow it could dump once it reached land. These storms have the power to bury entire cities in several feet of snow within just a single day, grinding daily life to a halt. History remembers the blizzard of '77 in Buffalo, when snowdrifts swallowed homes and stranded thousands, and Chicago's own paralyzing storm in '67, which left the city immobilized for days. What made this blizzard truly epic? Exceptionally cold air, a warm lake, and perfectly aligned winds all came together in a rare, powerful combination. The storm stalled, lingering over the city for hours, dumping snow relentlessly and refusing to move on. The snow was heavy and wet, weighing down trees and power lines, causing widespread outages and damage. Plows couldn't keep up. The city's snow removal crews were overwhelmed, fighting a losing battle against nature. Scientists and meteorologists called it a Snowmageddon scenario, a rare event where all the right ingredients came together for maximum impact. Chicago was in the direct crosshairs of this meteorological monster, with nowhere to hide from its fury. The unique geography of the Great Lakes had created the perfect storm, a natural phenomenon that only this region can produce. Nature's power was on full display, reminding us just how quickly the weather can change, and how awe-inspiring its force can be. Chicago's roads and highways seized up instantly, as if frozen in time by the relentless snowstorm. Lakeshore Drive became a parking lot of stranded vehicles, closed for the first time in years, a rare sight for this bustling thoroughfare. Snowplows fought a losing battle. For every inch cleared, 2 more fell, as if the storm was determined to reclaim the city. Public transportation ground to a halt, while trains iced over, buses stuck, airports closed, leaving commuters stranded and frustrated. Thousands of travelers slept on terminal floors, cut off from the world, their journeys indefinitely postponed by the storm's fury. The Magnificent Mile and the Loop were deserted, businesses shuttered, schools closed as the city hunkered down. The city was forced into a mandatory shutdown, a rare occurrence that highlighted the storm's severity. Emergency services struggled. Ambulances and fire trucks crawled through drifts blocked by abandoned cars, their sirens muffled by the snow. The Office of Emergency Management became the nerve center, coordinating a massive but overwhelmed response as they worked tirelessly to manage the crisis. Every emergency call was a logistical nightmare, with responders battling the elements to reach those in need. The city's energy vanished, replaced by silence and snow, a quiet that was both eerie and beautiful. Chicago, a modern metropolis, was humbled by winter's raw power, a reminder of nature's dominance. The storm imposed a siege, and the city could only wait, hoping for a break in the relentless weather. It was a city on its knees, reminded of its vulnerability as the snow continued to fall. The blizzard had brought Chicago to a standstill, a city paralyzed by the sheer volume of snow. All anyone could do was endure, as they waited for the storm to pass and life to return to normal. The city waited for relief, for the sun to break through the clouds and melt away the snow. As the city shut down, unseen heroes went to work. First responders and utility workers braved the blizzard, answering calls for help in impossible conditions. Paramedics used 4-wheel drives and snowmobiles to reach those in need. Snowplow drivers worked grueling shifts, clearing main routes to hospitals and fire stations. Exhaustion and danger were constant companions. Utility crews battled downed power lines and outages, restoring heat and light to thousands. Their work was perilous, but essential. 911 dispatchers and emergency managers coordinated the chaos, directing resources where they were needed most. These men and women were the city's lifeline. They didn't wear capes, but their efforts were heroic. In the heart of the storm, they kept hope alive. Their determination was a beacon in the whiteout. Chicago's survival depended on their courage. For most Chicagoans, the blizzard meant staying inside. The city of broad shoulders became a city of closed doors. Families gathered, watching surreal news reports of their buried city. Board games reappeared, conversations flourished, and the frantic pace of life slowed. The morning commute was replaced by coffee in the kitchen. Outside, the world was transformed. Familiar neighborhoods became alien landscapes. Social media became a digital town square, sharing photos and stories. As days passed, cabin fever set in. The novelty faded, replaced by anxiety and restlessness. People worried about food, power, and the systems they usually took for granted. For those alone, isolation was profound. Phone calls and video chats became lifelines. Creativity flourished, cooking, new hobbies, or simply catching up on sleep. Life indoors was a strange mix of boredom and beauty, anxiety and peace. The city held its breath, waiting for the storm to pass. In the storm's fury, Chicago's true character emerged. The blizzard broke down barriers, bringing neighbors together. Younger residents checked on the elderly, sharing food and conversation. As the storm eased, people emerged with shovels, clearing sidewalks and freeing cars together. Strangers became partners, laughter echoing in the cold. One man cleared paths for his entire block, others cooked communal meals. When a furnace failed, a neighbor ran a generator across the yard. These were spontaneous acts of kindness, not organized efforts. The storm forced people to rely on one another. It reminded everyone that a neighborhood is more than houses. It's people. The bonds forged in the snow would last long after the drifts melted. The blizzard in its harsh way brought the city closer. Chicago's spirit shone brightest in the storm. The blizzard was a struggle for Chicago's animals too. Squirrels and birds found their food buried under snow and ice. Birds flocked to backyard feeders, relying on residents for survival. Coyotes and raccoons changed their habits, searching for food in the altered landscape. Even rats retreated underground, seeking warmth in sewers. Pets faced challenges. Dogs bewildered by deep snow, owners shoveling paths for them. Shelters urged people to bring strays inside. The storm reshaped the city's ecosystem, testing every creature's survival instincts. In crisis, compassion for all living things mattered. The blizzard reminded Chicago, the city is shared by humans and animals alike. After 48 relentless hours, the storm broke. Silence settled, and the sun rose on a city sculpted in white. The beauty was stunning. Chicago transformed, its edges softened by snow. Recovery began. Snowplows roared, shovels scraped, and snowblowers hummed. The city deployed its full fleet, creating mountains of snow in empty lots. Slowly, life returned. Trains rumbled, stores reopened, neighbors emerged. Stories of survival and relief were shared in the sunlight. The paralysis was over, but recovery was slow. Side streets stayed clogged for days. Melting snow brought flooding fears. Each cleared street and reopened business strengthened the city's pulse. The Great Thaw was a symbol of resilience. Chicago had taken a powerful blow, but it was getting back up. The city moved forward, determined to recover. The storm's scars would linger, but so would the lessons. Chicago's spirit endured. The blizzard of '25 left a lasting mark on Chicago. It exposed vulnerabilities in infrastructure and emergency response. City officials reviewed plans, determined to be better prepared next time. But the storm's greatest lesson was about community. In a digital age, the blizzard forced real connection. Neighbors helping neighbors. The strongest resource wasn't plows or power grids, but people. Acts of kindness and unity defined the city's response. The storm sparked conversations about climate and resilience. Chicago emerged stronger, more connected, and better prepared. The snow melted, but the memories and lessons remain. The city that works together. And in the face of nature's fury, Chicago endures.